Hey film friends, I'm Nick Furman. This is Furman on Film. Welcome to the channel. Sorry guys, just got done with a session of furious jumping. I think I need a cold shower. But first, I must go punch that baby. This is Yorgos Lanthimos, Poor Things. So you want me to find some themes from the most screwball Victorian period piece with a steampunk sheen I've maybe ever seen? Might be the only steampunk Fantasia flick I've ever seen. Well, I think the first thing to determine is exactly what Poor Things is. And the answer is maybe a whole host of subgenres smashed together in an exhilarating concoction. It's a monster flick in a sense. Willem Dafoe is the mad scientist revivifying dead carcasses in a black and white world. Though actually, the crazy animal combinations are as much Island of Dr. Moreau as they are Frankenstein. But it's also a coming-of-age drama about a woman finding her own place in the world. Her voice and volition over her body, relationships, and her career. This is pretty par for the course in a Yorgos flick. He's always deconstructing social mores around relationships, sexuality, and family. And oddly, as Emma Stone has said on the awards circuit, Poor Things might be the most farcical rom-com out there. Like if Terry Gilliam's wit and Tim Burton's crazy aesthetic got filtered through Mary Shelley and the Book of Ecclesiastes? A strange fairy tale, an absurdist fantasy, a fable set in a time of prim and proper polite society, yet sort of in a world all of its own. You know, a Frankenstein-inspired sex comedy. So that's the first thing I'll mention about Poor Things' strengths. It is baldly hilarious. Tony McNamara is back on screenwriting duty after that diamond of a script for The Favorite. Poor Things is boldly written, but more importantly, impeccably performed. Ruffalo has never been so faux self-confident and gross, and finally entirely broken down and defeated. I've just never seen him do broad comedy on this level, and he absolutely kills it. But we need to spend the most time on the wondrous Emma Stone. This is one of the most fearless performances I've ever seen, beginning with her essentially physically performing a baby and toddler's mind trapped inside an adult's body. Her stilted walk, wild gesticulations, the half-gibberish phrases she utters as she's learning basic vocabulary, it's all unreal. It's physical comedy and sight gags of the highest caliber. Then, when she discovers other potential delights in her body, I just can't believe she went for it this hard. You just don't really see famous American stars being this open and naked often at all. Too bad. That kind of nudity and sex belongs much more to European cinema, like something you would see in a Bertolucci or a Lars von Trier film. Yet here, she's totally committed, progressing into emotional maturity a little more with each sequence, until she's fully articulate and driven to pursue her own path. But the really awesome thing about Poor Things is that all of the other aspects of the filmmaking match this wildly imaginative and over-the-top spirit. We could talk about Lanthimos' collaboration with cinematographer Robbie Ryan or the exuberant costume design of Holly Waddington for hours. Yorgos has always shot with these ludicrous low angles looking up. Here he's using a ton of wide fisheye lenses and a series of other images which fill all negative space with blackness. So the effect is of the audience looking through a peephole at the main characters. To this is added bright, bold, velvety colors in maximalist set designs, which are somehow both garish and oddly gorgeous at the same time. So the message is clear. The world is kind of nuts and scary, but also really beautiful. The entire production on this one, top to bottom, is a well-oiled machine. Well, let me just say up front, if you're someone who's frequently online or scrolling the Reddit boards, you've probably heard a certain wave of criticism about this film. Put simply, it's an attack on portraying all of this sexual activity for someone who is not yet technically mature. Though Bella's body is fully developed, her mind clearly is not. And let me just say, I think that this misses the point of Poor Things completely. And if you want to hash this out in the comments below, I'd love to talk about it further. But look, Yorgos is a provocateur. before. This dude could care less if you're offended. In fact, he probably welcomes it. It's no accident that this film is set in a kind of buttoned up and staid Victorian world. This man has been wringing dark comedy out of absurdist takedowns of social mores since Dogtooth and even before. He wants to pose questions of agency and control. Who's really pulling the strings here? And take down repression in all of its forms. But that is not at all to say that Poor Things is perfect or that there's no merit in critiquing this entire odyssey at all. For me, the second hour of the film pales in comparison to the first in several key ways. Once the two of them hit the ship, Bella encounters an oddly fitted pair that could best be described as an optimist and a cynic. Now there's some really good stuff here, but the trouble is that the cynic is being played by Gerard Carmichael. And this is not a good performance by the terrific comedian. He's doing this deadpan thing that's more like Bill Murray in a Jarmusch vehicle than all of the other performers who are flamboyantly acting in this drama. And the film really begins to lag around this time as well. And once we get off the boat, we're treated to an extended excursion that I'll just call the brothel meets Marxism. And here's where I really want to take the provocative director to task. Now, I would in no way describe myself as prudish, but is it possible there's too much sex in Poor Things? Could you have too much sex? Nah. But most of the moments in this section are played for laughs. They're essentially extended sight gags. And don't get me wrong, they're hysterical, some uproariously so. But they don't further the story. And they grind its momentum down so much that it almost starts to detract from its broader points about Bella's adult awakening. So, what do we conclude? There's just no one making pictures like Yorgos Lanthimos right now. And fortunately for him, he's found an audacious and go-for-broke performer who's willing to hitch her wagon to his outlandish dramas. Poor Things is a home run of gut-splitting writing from Tony McNamara, full of insanely diverse and inventive cinematography and costume design, and near career-best work from Mark Ruffalo and Emma Stone. Well, there you have it. The only thing left to discuss is our rating for this picture. FOF gives Poor Things 4.3 out of 5 stars. If you enjoyed this review, please let us know by giving us a thumbs up and subscribing to the channel. Also, don't forget to head on over to FurmanOnFilm.com for even more movie content. Or you can click on these two videos right here. Thanks for watching. I'm Nick Furman. This is Furman on Film. Stay firm, my friends.